Thanks to our sponsor, DoneDeal.ie, we bring you Business Bites, the best bits of that great business show, served up in individual servings.
DoneDeal Motors is home to Ireland's largest range of new and premium used cars. That's why you'll find cars from Mercedes-Benz, Audi and BMW dealerships on DoneDeal. Are you looking for a 7-seater to accommodate your growing family? Maybe you're after a luxury saloon to make a statement. We have the car for you. You'll also find Ireland's largest range of electric cars to help you make the switch. Visit DoneDeal.ie today to start the search for your next car.
From episode 124, here's Mark Greene of Parcel Planet explaining how to save on your business's shipping costs. For those of you who ship small amounts of goods from Ireland abroad, there is an understandable concern that any move towards a united Ireland could mean losing the use of the Royal Mail on our island. I was talking to someone recently who's not at all happy with some of An Post's odd regulations and costs, so much so that he has a friend bring his boxes to Ballycon, Northern Ireland, once a week, where he posts the boxes via the Royal Mail at a considerable discount. That's business, you could say. And indeed it is, and it's the business of my next guest, Mark Greene of Dublin-based Parcel Planet, whose business is shipping parcels. Mark Greene, welcome to That Great Business Show.
Thank you very much, Conal. Good to be here.
Shipping parcels is an area which, if you had asked me 2-3 years ago, my eyes would glaze over, fall asleep straight in front of you and all. The more I got into the weeds of parcels, the more I found it fascinating. No, really, it is.
Not many classify it as fascinating, but I'm interested.
It is fascinating just in the way how goods and parcels with goods in them move around the world. So what is your business, Parcel Planet, doing that others aren't doing?
So I suppose probably the easiest way is to say why Parcel Planet came about. So Parcel Planet, it's effectively as a business is about 3 years old, but prior to that, we had been drop shipping our own goods from Dublin to all over Ireland, including Northern Ireland.
Now, let me stop you there. Now, I am, because of my new nerdyism, interested and knowledgeable about drop shipping, but not everybody is. Do explain to the world.
So drop shipping would simply mean that if you sell a good on your site, and the typical site would be Shopify, maybe even WooCommerce. So instead of you holding that good, as soon as the sale comes through, you get the ding on your phone and you decide, right, I'm going to pick and pack it. You decide that, you know what, my time is better spent selling, marketing, maybe even purchasing, and you get somebody else to do it. So those goods go into their warehouse, they pick and pack it for you, they ship it out for you, and they provide you with all the data that enables your customer then to follow up on that parcel. That's effectively drop shipping. So you're not having to do the laboursome work, and your time is better spent selling.
And you don't have 25 or 2,500, whatever you're selling, out in the back garden.
Correct.
Or in your garage or wherever you store them.
Correct.
Because you don't actually touch them. Is that correct?
That's it. I suppose with the huge growth in e-commerce, and obviously we have COVID to thank for that, but that's catapulted forward even more so. And because of that, we're seeing a huge demand with e-commerce brands that want to do what they're best at, and that's growing their brand. And anything that takes away from that, it's effectively slowing their growth. And a large proportion of their time when we talk to business owners is the logistics. It's the operation. It's the goods in, goods out, following up, putting them away, putting in heavy software, your WMS system, to enable you to manage that. And the demand has grown so substantially that we'd seen that opportunity, but what we wanted to do was wrap that in with a great service. And part of that was having the facility we have now in Birmingham. So it enables a brand like your friend to simply put the stock into our location in Birmingham, and lo and behold, next day, his customers get their goods.
And a Birmingham location is hugely beneficial when you start getting involved in Brexit.
The B word? Are we bringing up the B word?
Well, I am making a forecast now that the Brexit will actually disappear again, maybe in 2 to 3 years, because I can see slowly, reality is kicking in.
Yes.
And in business, we all know reality does kick in.
Correct.
It's called
So
pounds,
I suppose there was-
shillings and pence.
There was 2 Bs, wasn't there? There was Boris and Brexit. And one is gone, the other is still here with us. Yes, we'd probably see that border softening, but
So
effectively...
talk me through, I'm looking at a cup here. I'm selling cups. I locate my cups in Birmingham. A little bing comes in on my phone. Somebody in Britain wants to buy my cup, and you do the rest. Correct?
Yes, absolutely. So what happens is our software connects into your website. So your ping comes through, that effectively comes into our software. We see it there, and then we pick, pack, and ship it out. You might have some special, we want a special packaging, which might be we want some pink paper to go around this product. We want an additional note to say, thank you for buying. Buy again, here's a 10% discount. And that's something we want to encourage with our clients. So the goods get delivered then to your customer. And the great thing about it is it's all done seamlessly. The order is delivered without you even knowing. And also, once the information is passed through, it means that your customer also has the tracking details. So one of the features we'd found was, because as we had grown our business before we expanded out into Parcel Planet, was we wanted to reduce the amount of inbound activity. So inbound activity, again, takes you away from what you should be doing, which is building your brand. And part of that was, where's my package? So effectively what our software enables you to do is that information, the tracking details, goes to your customer, and they can track it.
Now, we had Sarah Naylor on the previous podcast, number 123, and she told us that drop shipping is the new buzz amongst kids, and I use the word advisedly, very young people who dream of building a brand, and they don't want to soil their hands with picking up parcels and putting on sticky
And
tape.
she's 100% right.
This is something you're seeing too.
Yes, so we're seeing, but this has been the case for many years. And I suppose if you look at any of the big brands out there, if you take any of the big brands like your Superdrys, your Diesel, I'm talking about male brands there, obviously, but you go into the beauty sphere, which is really where we specialise. None of them, or very few at least, have their own operation. They've outsourced it. They recognise that they are a brand and that's their business. They need to build that. And what we're seeing is that a newer generation that is coming through, particularly on the e-commerce platform, is they're understanding that. They realise that my job here, my superpower here is to build a brand. It is not about taking a box, picking and packing and making myself feel busy. And that's what we see. So I suppose I don't want to say the smarter, but the brands that grow faster are outsourcing this to the specialist. And we would say we were specialists.
And you are doing a beautiful pitch job to me. Now, talk to me about how teeny can you be to deal with Parcel Planet? In other words, Sarah Naylor talked about a 14-year-old who might only be shipping small amounts.
Yes.
Is that person ready for Parcel Planet?
So I would say no. And I would probably say that person is not ready to outsource it just yet. So we started our business journey too long ago, 17 years ago. You need to get to know your business. You need to feel your customers. And the early days is very much what you get to understand is what's different about your business. What's the USP that makes them come back? And as part of that, then it's the customer experience. So if you focus on the customer at the end point and keep them not happy but delighted, you're overachieving, then everyone's happy along the chain. And so what we're seeing is that if they focus on delivering a great experience, you'll know then when you go to a fulfillment center like ourselves and say, this is the experience I want to deliver. So where we would typically start is, and where we set out to, is brands that are in and around 1,000 orders a month.
Okay. So that's 250 a week. Now,
Exactly.
does that mean, like, I'm going to go from the extreme, the ridiculous, my little cup here, to table tennis tables. Do not ask me why I've just thought of a table tennis table.
Great question. Great question.
But
What
if you're
size?
shipping, could you ship 250 table tennis tables every week?
It's a great question, and that's probably one of the reasons we have the hint in the name, parcel. You will not get a table tennis table. Maybe a table tennis ball or bat, but definitely not a table tennis table. When you think about e-commerce, it's very much a case that it is parcel-led, it is consumer-driven. And yes, there is the outliers of the likes of your table tennis tables, your electrified kids' cars, that kind of thing. Whereas your consumer goods, and particularly, I suppose, where we would specialise, would be the likes of the beauty industry and the athleisure wear industry.
And you say here, because I was looking at your website, pet care, beauty, fashion, jewellery, books, giftware, and office products.
Yes.
I've just done the ad for you. You can send on the check. Of those, you're saying, you've mentioned the beauty stuff a couple of times, and again, oddly enough, and it's coincidental that Sarah Naylor her company is a beauty business in a box. So there's obviously something happening there. So talk to me about the opportunities and the do's and don'ts of that area, since you seem to know it.
So I suppose with the beauty industry itself, it's the customer experience. I mean, it's quite competitive brands-wise. I mean, what we've seen in the last 10 years is new brands that weren't there 10 years ago are now suddenly competing with the big established brands like Clinique, Revlon, that kind of thing. And part of that then is the association with influencers. And you're bringing that through. So that is the new breed, I suppose, we're seeing come through. And part of that is a great customer experience. Because it's so competitive, you have to have the goods delivered the next day in great condition. And if you've any questions or queries, that they're answered very quickly. If you're not doing that, your competition is.
And is your competition on Post, the Royal Mail, or is it UPS, DHL, or who are you competing against?
So from our perspective, the likes of the couriers are all partners. So what we would do is
you love them?
We do. We have a phenomenal relationship, even with Royal Mail, as you mentioned, given what's gone on in the last while.
But you didn't mention on Post. Do you deal with them?
Absolutely. One of our
Oh,
best.
you do?
Everyone
Okay.
knows their friendly
so
postie,
there's no
including
point in
GLS.
me trying to get any dirt from you about on Post.
You could, but we'd have to switch off the mic.
Because I started this entire thing by saying that on Post is, they're going to not like me for this, but they're driving business over the bloomin' border.
Yes.
Their own business.
Yes.
Clever?
Yes.
I know. No.
So I suppose the one feature that needs to be kept in mind when you're looking at the customer experience is giving customers options. And that's one of the driving factors for ourselves. So the ideal would be that your customer gets to choose. I can go with OnPost, or I can go with GLS, I can go with DPD. And we think that's a phenomenal service. That's a great experience. And like that, that's what we try to give to our clients, so that if they feel that their brand is best associated with the aforementioned OnPost, that's great, we'll go with them. If they need a solution, which is Northern Ireland, we've a solution for them on that as well. But it's our job to make that seamless, and it's our job to make sure we're keeping their customer. We see that the brand's job is to grow their business. We're there to maintain it.
And very briefly, because we are running out of time, tell me 2 do's and 2 don'ts if drop shipping is your business.
2 do's would be get the order out on time and communicate heavily.
Is that not easy? In other words, the Bing comes in, I press the button, and Parcel Planet does the rest.
Depends what time your Bing comes in at.
But if the Bing comes in at 2 a.m., because isn't that the whole joy of that business, as you say, you're making money as you sleep?
There's no problem with the Bing coming in at 2 a.m. because that person at 2 a.m. isn't expecting it at 9 a.m. The problem there comes if the Bing comes in at 4 o'clock and your courier is already gone at 2 o'clock. That's where the value should be.
And is it really that tight?
Absolutely. What we're seeing
But
is
are people expecting it that? I mean, that's suddenly that quickly.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, what we're seeing now is a growth in the soap hours. So you think about your Coronation Street, your EastEnders times where people are looking at the soaps and they're shopping. So we're seeing a good growth in
They're
that.
shopping as they watch the soaps.
Correct.
Not surprised. I'd sooner.
We won't generalise with the better halves in our lives, but yes, absolutely. We're seeing a growth in that. So one of our goals is, particularly in Birmingham and in Ireland, is to have a cut-off time of 9 p.m. We're getting close to it, but that enables our clients then to have the edge.
So those were the twos. I don't know, were they the do's or the don'ts? Give me the other two.
Give me the two don'ts. Don't choose a courier that doesn't fit with your brand.
But do you care? I mean, do I care?
I think you do. I think
If a courier comes to my door, I look at the box, not at the courier.
But you will see the difference in the service.
Okay.
So, like everything, there's horses for courses and there's prices for courses. So if you're selling a good that is 20 euros to the customer, are they really going to expect a high delivery service? If you're selling something like one of our clients is, and the value of could be 500 euros.
Okay. You want somebody to come along with white gloves and bow and scrape and all the rest?
Correct,
Okay.
correct. And there's room in the world for everybody.
All right. Final question. Who would Mark Greene of Parcel Planet hire in a heartbeat?
So there's probably two that come to mind. It's because they're on the podcast list, including yours. So it was Stephen Bartlett or Mo Gowda. Probably Stephen Bartlett. Phenomenal at social media. It's an area that's highly developed and he's highly respected as an entrepreneur. So Stephen Bartlett, you'd have to admire the guy at 30 years of age to have sold.
Is that all he is? I've seen him on TV. He's on Dragon's Den.
Yes, if you want to feel inferior, just read his Wikipedia. At 30 years of age, multi-millionaire on Dragon's Den and having sold his business blockchain. Not blockchain.
No, it can't be blockchain.
No, it's not. Sorry, it's social chain. Apologies. They're all kind of similar. So, social chain, and he sold that. So from our point of view, our clients would gain such value from the likes of Stephen Bartlett.
And I am very happy that you did not mention somebody else that you told me that you would hire in a heartbeat. You told me that your two favourite podcasts, not necessarily in this order.
Which order?
would be That Great Business Show and David McWilliams' podcast.
Yes,
now, David is a friend of mine.
Guilty pleasure.
But you actually hoped that he would ring you, not me.
I'm still waiting for the call.
You got the B team here, you see.
Yes, yeah. Well, I thought it was the A team, but it depends on which show I'm on at the time.
I could hear the disappointment in your voice when you took the phone call. And I think you almost wanted me to say, I'm ringing on behalf
He's
of David
coming in now, is he?
No, is that I was ringing on behalf of David.
Yes, the secretary to David McWilliams, yes. Yeah, absolutely. One of those, I think David's podcasts are so entertaining. Educational and entertaining combined, but nothing can take away from your business show.
You smooth talking.
Would you like chocolates with that?
Mark Greene, Parcel Planet, thank you so much for joining us on That Great Business Show.
Want to increase sales, reduce overheads, and provide customers with a better service? Then use Big Red Web, the easiest way to develop and maintain your website. It gives you powerful business reporting, digital marketing, and automatically integrates with the award-winning Big Red cloud accounting software. It's a game changer for SME businesses. It's so good, the government gives you a €2,500 grant towards it. Big Red Web, e-commerce made simple. BigRedCloud.com/web.
De facto shaving oil, made only from natural oils. Nothing nasty on your skin.
This interview was first posted on episode 124 of That Great Business Show. For more great business insights, do listen back to the entire back catalogue of That Great